Don't run after things. Start by getting organized, and everything else will begin to align itself toward you. Understand this idea, and you'll notice how everything starts to transform. It's a hard, practical, and urgent truth, a key capable of radically changing the way you live. Today you'll learn 7 Stoic lessons of real impact that will show you why acting out of desperation only pushes you further away from what truly matters. Even more, you'll discover that organizing your mind, your routine, and your vision of life is what makes everything flow, without haste, without anxiety, and without self-deception. Because here's the truth. If you feel exhausted, if you always think you're late, and even when you do everything possible, you still feel like nothing is under control, stop right now. What you lack isn't effort. It's direction. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you become what you allow to dwell in your mind. The mind is the brush, and life is the canvas. That means when you change the way you think, your world changes with you. Before we begin, I only ask you for 2 things. Give this episode a like and subscribe to the channel. Now let's begin with the first lesson. Lesson 1. Change, and everything will change with you. Everything begins in the mind. You can have talent, time, connections, even money, but if your mind is disorganized, none of it will work. Mindset is what opens or closes doors. And changing your mindset isn't about repeating motivational quotes. It's about learning to think with clarity, logic, and purpose. It's about stopping the automatic thoughts that drain your energy and push you into the abyss of frustration. Many people exhaust themselves chasing dreams, working endlessly, yet deep inside they feel lost, full of guilt, comparing themselves to others, and dominated by anxiety. And do you know why? Because those who don't organize their mind end up enslaved by it. A disordered mind turns any routine into chaos, any plan into confusion, and even achievements into heavy burdens. Epictetus summed it up precisely. The mind turns a scratch into a wound, or a wound into armor. Life isn't against you. What's in conflict is your way of thinking. If you see everything as an emergency, you'll live in constant alarm. If you believe you're always late, you'll never feel peace. If you think you'll only be happy once you achieve something, you'll spend your whole life postponing your own happiness. No matter how hard you try, if your mind is programmed for scarcity, everything will seem insufficient. If it's programmed for fear, you'll see threats everywhere. And if it's programmed for comparison, you'll always feel like you're losing. It's not things that need to change, but the filter through which you view them. That's why, before seeking results, organize what's inside you. If your mind remains a battlefield, you'll sabotage yourself even in victory. You'll doubt yourself, lose opportunities, and end up calling normal life what is actually just survival. Marcus Aurelius once wrote something everyone should read upon waking. You can have everything, but if your mind is chaos, your life will be too. Because the mind is the seed, and life is the fruit. Your external reality will always reflect what you cultivate within. This isn't empty theory. It's the true engineering of life. There's no use chasing peace if you're the one sowing chaos. There's no use saying I can't when what you're missing isn't capacity, but clarity. Breathe. Look at your life with honesty. Are you making decisions out of fear? Are you reacting to the world or intentionally building your path? Changing your mindset isn't a magical act, it's a daily practice. It's questioning the thoughts that destroy you, focusing on what you can control, and having the courage to let go of what doesn't depend on you. When you organize your mind, you start seeing what was always there, only hidden by the clutter. Opportunities don't appear out of nowhere. They've always been there, circling near you. But as long as your mind is saturated with noise, you simply can't see them. It's not bad luck, it's lack of clarity. Those who live confused don't act at the right moment, they doubt, get lost in comparisons, and drown in distractions. But when the mind becomes calm and clean, it's as if a veil falls from your eyes. What once seemed impossible now becomes accessible. What seemed distant draws near. You don't need to run anymore. You just need to see more clearly. Opportunities have always been there. Only a serene mind can recognize them. That's what distinguishes those who drift aimlessly from those who build their destiny. If this message resonated with you, write in the comments, "Today I organize my mind," because that's the first step to stop merely surviving and start living with wisdom. Lesson 2. Stop running after things. You're always running. You run to reach an ideal, to avoid falling behind, to prove something. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, who said it had to be this way? Most people are running after things they don't even know if they truly want. They live as if an invisible stopwatch marked every step, believing that if they don't do everything right now, they'll lose their chance at life. But running without direction isn't progress. It's a more sophisticated form of being lost. It's like running up an escalator that's going down. It looks like movement, but there's no advancement. Those who live running after things are deep down crawling inside. And the worst part is that when the right things finally arrive, they don't even notice, because they're too busy forcing what isn't ready to happen yet. Seneca had already warned us. It's not that we have little time, but that we waste much of it on things that don't matter. We run after status, validation, and comparison. Life becomes a circular race whose only prize is exhaustion. And the cruelest part is this. When we finally get what we thought we wanted, we discover it doesn't fulfill us, because the emptiness was always internal. Running after things was just a distraction to avoid facing that emptiness. Stoicism doesn't condemn ambition. It teaches how to direct it with purpose. Instead of chasing, Stoics observed, understood, and acted calmly. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of the greatest empire of his time, could have lived impulsively, caught up in urgency, yet he wrote, "Haste is the enemy of the mind. Those who run too fast stop seeing, and those who stop seeing act in darkness." Think about how many bad decisions you've made out of impulse, how many doors you've forced open that turned into prisons, how many times you've exhausted yourself trying to fix something that time would have resolved by itself, if only you'd trusted. Running after things is a symptom of distrust, in life and in yourself. It's acting as if you were always lacking something, as if what belongs to you didn't have the strength to find you. But listen carefully. What truly belongs to you doesn't need to be chased. It arrives at the right moment. Not everything you desire today is ready to receive you, and not everything you lost was truly yours. The problem is that you want to harvest fruits without preparing the soil first. A farmer doesn't dig up his seed every day to see if it has become a tree. He plants, waters, nurtures, and waits, with patience, trust, and wisdom. Your life works the same way. Sow your actions, cultivate your character, act with virtue and trust, because the harvest doesn't come to those who run, but to those who organize. Every time you feel the urge to chase something, stop and ask yourself, am I moving with wisdom or am I running from silence? Am I searching with intention or am I just trying to fill a void? The answer will show you whether you're growing or just escaping from yourself. And here's the key. Stopping the chase isn't giving up. It's taking control. It's replacing desperation with presence, anxiety with clarity, and haste with trust. When you stop begging for attention, validation, and opportunities, you begin to attract them naturally, because your energy stops being scarcity and becomes certainty. Life doesn't reward those who run aimlessly. It rewards those who know how to wait, act, and trust at the right time. The fruits that truly matter aren't obtained in the marathon of haste. They grow in the silence of patience. And when you understand this, you realize you no longer need to run to prove anything. You just need to walk firmly because what's meant for you is already on its way. Lesson 3. Organize your life. Focus on yourself. Do you know what almost nobody tells you? That the confusion you feel today isn't because life is impossible. It's because you've allowed your routine to become disordered. It's hard to accept, I know. But often the greatest chaos isn't outside. It's within us. You want peace, balance, and clarity, yet you don't spend even 5 minutes a day taking care of your mind. You wake up rushing, grab your phone, go into autopilot, and only stop when your body starts sending warning signs. Think about it. How can you expect a calm life if you're the one feeding the chaos? Organizing your life doesn't mean covering walls with sticky notes or colorful planners. It's about identifying what's essential, about stopping the constant reaction to everything and starting to act with direction. Focusing on yourself isn't selfishness, it's survival. The world demands that you be everywhere at once, but Stoicism reminds you that the most important place to be is within yourself. Only those who truly know themselves know where to invest their energy, when to move forward, when to stop, and when to calmly say, "This is not mine to carry." Have you thought about how much time you waste trying to please others? How much of your mind is occupied by problems that aren't even yours? You weren't born to dissolve into other people's schedules or be devoured by external expectations. Focusing on yourself is reconnecting with yourself. It's asking honestly, how am I treating myself? What am I allowing into my life? What is pulling me away from my center? The Stoics understood that true freedom begins with order. Musonius Rufus said, "Discipline is the bridge between intention and action." Dreams, goals, or inspiring phrases mean nothing if your daily life is falling apart. And I'm not talking about perfectionism. I'm talking about personal responsibility. Do you want peace? Stay away from voices that only disturb you. Do you want focus? Reduce what drains your attention. Do you want clarity? Eliminate the excess stimuli. Focusing on yourself means creating a routine that strengthens you, not one that drains you. It means waking up and doing something for yourself before giving yourself to the world. Remember, your energy is limited, and you can't waste it solving what's not your responsibility or trying to prove what doesn't need proving. And here's an uncomfortable truth. It's not that you lack time, you lack structure. You feel lost because you haven't put things in order inside or out. Without structure, even pleasure becomes a burden, and even victories feel like debts. So stop, observe, and choose calmly. Say no more often. Protect your time and filter your conversations. That's not coldness, that's maturity. Because those who don't organize themselves drown in promises and get lost in 1,000 directions. Life asks you to care for yourself as a priority, not as a last option. Don't wait for someone to come save you. They won't. The responsibility is yours. To build the mental, emotional, and practical foundation where your peace can grow. Lesson 4. Stop living to prove something. A large part of the weight you carry doesn't come from life itself, but from your constant attempts to prove to the world that you're enough. Proving that you can, proving that you deserve, proving that you haven't fallen behind. But living this way is like running on a treadmill. You expend energy, it looks like progress, but deep down, you remain in the same place. The Stoics knew that nothing enslaves more than the need for applause. Epictetus wrote, "If you want to be good, start by believing that it's enough to please yourself." It's harsh but true. When your compass points outward, you get lost inside. Think about how many times you said yes when you wanted to say no. How many battles you fought that weren't yours. How many sleepless nights you spent just to uphold the image others expected of you. And what was the reward? Exhaustion and anxiety. Because those who need to be convinced will never be satisfied, and those who truly matter would never ask you to betray yourself just to please them. You don't have to prove anything to anyone, not to your family, not to your friends, not to strangers. Your worth doesn't depend on applause, but on the courage to stay true to yourself when no one is watching. And here's the twist. When you stop living to prove something, you discover something almost no one tells you. The silence of freedom. Your decisions stop being desperate races and become steady steps. You act not to impress, but because it makes sense. You stop competing for attention because you've regained self-respect. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that life is too brief to waste it on vanity. If even an emperor understood this, what's stopping you? In the end, the question won't be how many admired you, but whether you can look in the mirror without shame. If this message speaks to you, write in the comments, "I choose to be true to myself, not to live to prove." That's the choice that separates those who merely survive on someone else's stage from those who begin to live their own life. Lesson 5. Your mind is the key. There comes a time when you must stop getting lost in the noise of the world and dare to look within, at your thoughts, your emotions, your decisions. In the end, it's not the world that stops you, but how you react to it. And everything starts in the mind. The mind is the key. It can open doors to peace or to chaos, to freedom or to prison. You can have a stable life, comfort, health, even serenity around you, and still feel suffocated. Why? Because your mind has turned into a battlefield. Endless worries, comparisons, unresolved issues, catastrophic scenarios that you invent even before they happen. How many times has your day barely begun and you already feel exhausted? That's the result of a mind without direction, like a runaway horse. This is where Stoicism comes in. Epictetus said, "You don't suffer from the events themselves, but from the dirty lens through which you choose to view them." That changes everything. Pain doesn't lie in the event, but in the interpretation. Change the lens, and you change the experience. The problem is that many people take care of their body, their home, their car, even their social media, but not their mind, which is the center of everything. When the mind is neglected, life becomes disorder, impulsive decisions, exaggerated reactions, repeated self-sabotage. You don't need to be a monk to care for your mind, but you do need attention, daily observation of what's going on inside you. Ask yourself, how many of my thoughts actually help me, and how many are just recycled emotional garbage? Stoicism teaches you to choose, to filter, to replace. For example, a thought appears. You're falling behind in life. The Stoic doesn't swallow it whole. Instead, they question it, behind according to whom? By what standard? What can I do now? That internal dialogue gives you back the power you handed over to chance. Your mind doesn't need more stimulation, it needs cleaning. No more noise. Seek silence. No more distractions. Seek direction. That's not coldness or insensitivity. It's building an inner fortress, a place where external events can't easily knock you down. Have you noticed how some people face crises with calm, presence, and dignity? That's not a gift, it's training. It's the result of understanding that when the mind is steady, the world cannot break you. Organize your mind like you organize your home. Throw out what no longer serves you, keep the essentials visible, create space to breathe. Remember, everything begins within. You'll never control external circumstances, but you can always learn to control your response to them. Lesson 6. The clarity of Marcus Aurelius. Today, everything pushes you toward haste, comparison, and endless distraction. Being clear, centered, and calm has become an act of rebellion. No one understood this better than Marcus Aurelius, an emperor who, surrounded by chaos, ruled with the mind of a philosopher. Think about it. Can you imagine the burden of ruling the most powerful empire on earth, facing betrayals, diseases, wars, and death all around you, and still waking up each day to write in your journal? He began each morning reminding himself, "Today you will meet ungrateful, arrogant, selfish people. You will find vanity and lies. Don't be surprised and prepare yourself. This is training." Do you see the strength in that? How much suffering could we avoid if people remembered this every morning? Those who expect the world to be fair and kind end up frustrated, angry, reacting without thinking. But those who wake knowing they'll encounter arrogance and ingratitude aren't surprised, and what doesn't surprise you loses its power to hurt you. Of course, Marcus Aurelius was exceptional, but following his example isn't impossible. He proved that true strength wasn't in the sword or the throne, but in clarity. Clarity about who he was and what truly mattered. Look around. Most people don't suffer from lack of ability, but from mental noise. They wake up with dozens of conflicting thoughts, notifications, and anticipated worries, and they try to live and make decisions in the middle of that chaos. But how can you have peace if you can't even hear your own conscience? Marcus Aurelius wrote daily to clear away the excess and find his center again. He asked himself, "Am I acting with justice, courage, and wisdom? What's really under my control right now? Why am I agitated? Is it real or just a story my mind invented? Those questions return to him what haste always steals: presence. And presence is the doorway to clarity. Look at your own life. How many decisions have you made in a rush that you later regretted? How many times have you said yes when you wanted to say no? How many conflicts and commitments drained you because of a lack of clarity? Lack of clarity puts you on autopilot, and living on autopilot makes you a spectator of your own story. You wake, work, survive, but you don't truly live. Clarity doesn't mean knowing everything, it means knowing where you are, what you feel, and what you need to do right now. That alone solves half of your distress. Clarity is trained through writing, reflection, and mental decluttering. You don't need to be an emperor to have lucidity. You just need to stop running away from yourself. Then why do so many people flee from silence? Because silence reveals the truth. If you have the courage to face it, you'll discover what Marcus Aurelius did. Nothing influences your life more than your own thoughts. When you organize your mind, you choose your battles wisely. You stop wasting energy on useless arguments and don't get lost in external noise. You become someone who inspires simply by being. In a fast world, those who have clarity shine like a lighthouse. If you want less confusion and more meaning, start today. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me right now? If you answer honestly, you've already taken your first step toward inner freedom. And if this message touched you, write in the comments, "Clarity is my new strength." Because that's exactly what it is. It doesn't shout, it guides. Lesson 7. Focus, discipline, and courage. Now it's time to talk about the 3 keys that sustain everything you've learned. 3 Stoic pillars, 3 practical attitudes, 3 decisions that, if you dare to adopt them, will transform your life. Focus, discipline, and courage. No, this isn't a pretty quote for social media. These are weapons of war for the mind. They are what remain when motivation fades, when everything seems to collapse, when the world tries to drag you back into chaos of focus. Focusing isn't just paying attention, it's deciding what deserves your energy, and more importantly, what doesn't. Modern life is a constant hostage situation. Notifications, urgencies, comparisons, noise. If you don't learn to protect your focus like a warrior guards his sword, you'll live lost. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not get distracted. A mind that gives itself to everything goes deep into nothing." Most people don't suffer from having too much to do, but from lacking focus. They want to do everything, please everyone, and be perfect in every area. The result? Exhaustion. And the cruelest part, the emptiness of having done nothing deeply. If you want peace and progress, you must learn to say no. No to distractions. No to comparisons. No to what doesn't align with your purpose. Focus is like a camera lens. If you open it too wide, the image comes out blurry. When you narrow it, everything becomes clear. Life works the same way. Those who try to cover everything lose clarity, while those who concentrate their energy on what matters make small things great. Think about it. Would you rather spend your strength on 1,000 superficial things or on one that truly propels you forward? Discipline. Without discipline, you'll spend your life starting and quitting, dreaming and getting frustrated. The world rewards consistency, not fleeting enthusiasm. Musonius Rufus, Epictetus's teacher, said that discipline turns an ordinary person into someone capable of enduring pain and choosing what's right, even when it hurts. Discipline isn't a prison, and it's freedom. You wake up early not to suffer, but to take control of your day. You keep your promises not out of vanity, but out of self-respect. You create routines not to become a robot, but to stop depending on chance. The secret is simple. You don't need more motivation. You need commitment. Your body can tire, your mind may want to give up. But if your character is disciplined, you keep going. That's where you surpass most people. Discipline is like building a bridge. Each small daily action is a brick in the right place. At first it feels slow, almost useless. But with time, You realize you've built a solid structure that can cross any river. Without discipline, you stay stranded on the shore, waiting for an opportunity that never comes. With discipline, you build the crossing with your own hands. Courage. Focus and discipline mean nothing if fear paralyzes you. Courage is the bridge between what you know and what you do. It's what separates the observer from the one who acts. Epictetus said, "Don't wish for things to happen as you want them to. Wish to learn how to face them as they are." That's courage. Looking at life and saying, "It's hard, but I won't run. I'm afraid, but I'll go. I don't know what's coming, but I'll take the next step." Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's deciding to act even when you tremble. It's accepting that you might fail, fall, or be criticized, and still keep moving forward. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start now. Preparation comes along the way. Courage is like lighting a torch in the dark. It doesn't illuminate everything, but it shows the next step. And that's enough to keep moving. Those who wait for the whole path to be lit never leave the starting point. Those who walk with fear but walk discover that light follows movement, focus, discipline, and courage. If you cultivate these three every day, your life will change. You'll lose some things, distractions, excuses, relationships that keep you small, but you'll gain something far greater: freedom. The freedom of having clarity, structure, and self-respect. Those who live this way don't need to chase anything. They naturally attract what belongs to them. Life aligns. The right doors open. Peace arrives as a consequence, not as magic. And now, I invite you to a decision, not an empty promise, but a real and intimate choice. Choose what deserves your focus. Choose to keep your discipline even on gray days. Choose to have courage even if your voice shakes. Write in the comments, "I choose focus, discipline, and courage." It's not symbolic, and it's a new starting point. Because what you seek outside begins within. You've sabotaged yourself enough. You've believed the promise of "I'll start Monday." You've waited for the world to change on its own. But nothing changes as long as you keep running from yourself. No one can do it for you. Not a video, not a book, not advice. This is about a decision. Voltaire wrote, "History never repeats itself. Man always does." And that's exactly it. When you choose to grow, you stop tripping over the same traps, you learn the lessons life places before you, and you truly begin to progress as a human being. Seneca said the purpose of philosophy isn't to sound eloquent, but to become better than you were, to evolve, to improve, to be reborn. Let today be that day, your new beginning. Thank you for making it this far. If this episode helped you see things from a new angle, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. We continue here together, reflecting, growing, and building inner strength.